What if I told you that the single most powerful tool a leader has isn't an army, a crown, or a mountain of gold? It's an idea. An idea so powerful it can build empires, spark revolutions, or even reshape the way we see the universe itself. You might think you know who the great leaders are, but some of the names on this list will surprise you, and the reasons they're here will change how you think about influence forever. We're about to go on a journey, not just through a boring list of names from a history book. No, we're going to dive into the stories of 10 people who grabbed the wheel of history and turned it. I know it's easy to see these figures as just statues or portraits, but we're going to look at the human beings behind the legends. By the end of this, you won't just have a list. You'll understand the different ways a single person can change the world. And the story of number 7 is a lesson in a different kind of power you won't want to miss, so stick around. 10. Alexander the Great. Let's start with a classic. When you hear Alexander the Great, you probably picture a young, ambitious king on a horse, conquering everything in sight. And you're not wrong. He created one of the largest empires of the ancient world before he was 30. But his real, lasting influence wasn't just about winning battles. His true genius was in cultural fusion. As he conquered, he didn't just destroy. He blended Greek culture with the cultures of Persia, Egypt, and India. This created something new, the Hellenistic world. So his legacy isn't just a map of conquered lands, it's the libraries, cities, and shared knowledge that connected the East and West for centuries. 9. Genghis Khan. Now, here's a name that often brings a shiver. Genghis Khan. The word barbarian might come to mind. He was, without a doubt, a brutal conqueror. However, his influence is far more complex. What if I told you he was also a unifier? Before him, the Mongol tribes were scattered and constantly at war with each other. He brought them together under a single law and a single purpose. But his real game changer was creating the largest free trade zone in history. He made the Silk Road safe, creating a communication network with a postal system that was like the internet of its day. He connected worlds, and for all his brutality, he accidentally paved the way for Marco Polo and the exchange of ideas on a massive scale. 8. Leonardo da Vinci. Wait, an artist on a list of leaders? Absolutely. Leonardo wasn't a king or a general, but he was a leader of human potential. He led us into the Renaissance. In a time when you were supposed to be just one thing, a painter, a sculptor, an inventor, he was everything. His curiosity was his kingdom. He didn't just paint the Mona Lisa. He designed flying machines, studied human anatomy, and engineered bridges. His influence comes from showing us that the human mind has no limits. He led by example, proving that art and science are two sides of the same beautiful coin. 7. Marie Curie. Leadership isn't always about shouting from a podium. Sometimes it's about quiet, relentless dedication in a lab. Marie Curie shattered every rule about what women could do in her time. She was a leader in the world of science, a field completely dominated by men. She wasn't just the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, she's the only person ever to win it in 2 different scientific fields. Her work on radioactivity fundamentally changed our understanding of physics and led to cancer treatments that have saved countless lives. Her leadership was in her fierce intellect and her refusal to believe that her gender was a barrier. 6. Steve Jobs. Jumping to the modern era, let's talk about a different kind of empire builder. Steve Jobs didn't conquer lands. He conquered our pockets and our desks. He wasn't the best programmer or engineer. So, what was his magic? He was a leader of vision. He knew what we wanted before we did. He had an obsessive focus on design and user experience, believing that technology should feel intuitive, almost human. The iPhone wasn't just a new phone. It changed how we communicate, work, and live. His influence is in every seamless swipe and tap you make on a screen today. 5. Albert Einstein. Like Curie, Einstein led with his mind. He was a patent clerk, a nobody, when he completely turned physics on its head. His theory of relativity, E = mc², wasn't just a formula. It was a new language to describe the universe. He showed us that time and space weren't fixed, but flexible. This idea was so revolutionary, it led to everything from GPS in your phone to our understanding of black holes. He didn't command armies, but his ideas commanded the attention of the entire world and set the course for a century of scientific discovery. 4. Abraham Lincoln. Leadership is often tested most in times of crisis. Abraham Lincoln, a man from a humble background, was tasked with leading a country that was literally tearing itself apart. The American Civil War was a storm of hatred and division. But Lincoln's leadership was like a lighthouse. His goal wasn't just to win the war, but to heal the nation's soul. He navigated treacherous political waters with wisdom and a deep sense of moral purpose, ultimately leading to the abolition of slavery. His influence lies in his unwavering belief that a nation, even with deep wounds, could be brought back together. 3. Nelson Mandela. What does it take to lead after being imprisoned for 27 years? Most people would emerge with bitterness and a desire for revenge. But Nelson Mandela emerged with something far more powerful: forgiveness. After fighting against the brutal system of apartheid in South Africa, he became its president. And instead of punishing his former oppressors, he led a movement of truth and reconciliation. His leadership showed the world that peace isn't just the absence of conflict, but the presence of understanding. He is the ultimate symbol of resilience and grace. 2. Martin Luther King Jr. Some leaders command with the sword. Martin Luther King Jr. commanded with a dream. In a time of deep-seated racial injustice, he championed a radical idea: nonviolent resistance. He knew that fighting hate with more hate would only create a bigger fire. So he fought with marches, with sit-ins, and with powerful, soul-stirring words. His "I Have a Dream" speech wasn't just a speech. It was a vision of a better future that inspired a nation to confront its ugliest truths. His influence proves that the loudest voice isn't always the one that shouts, but the one that speaks to our shared humanity. 1. Mahatma Gandhi. And that brings us to our number 1. A small, frail man in a simple cloth who brought the mighty British Empire to its knees. How? Mahatma Gandhi perfected the art of nonviolent civil disobedience, or satyagraha, truth force. He organized millions of Indians to peacefully defy British rule through boycotts, marches, and fasting. He showed that you could dismantle an empire not with guns but with moral courage. His leadership wasn't just about freeing India. It was about introducing a new form of power to the world, a power that influenced leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela. He proved that one person's quiet conviction could be stronger than all the armies in the world. So you see, leadership isn't a one-size-fits-all jacket. It's a conqueror with a vision for culture, a scientist with a world-changing question, and an activist with an unshakable dream. True influence is about changing not just what people do, but how they think, how they dream, and what they believe is possible. This conversation doesn't have to end here. If these stories sparked something in you, if they made you think, then hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let me know in the comments below which leader's story surprised you the most, or who you would have added to the list. Let's keep the discussion going.